silence was the new anthem of Earth. It was a heavy silence, thick with the dust of shattered cities and the ghosts of screams. The Unorian War had ripped through the world, leaving behind a canvas of gray ruin. Yet, amidst the skeletal remains of skyscrapers and the rust-colored scars on the land, flickers of life persisted. In the heart of what was once a bustling metropolis, now just a labyrinth of crumbled concrete and twisted metal, a small group of figures moved with purpose. They were weary, their clothes patched and stained with grime, but their movements were deliberate, their eyes fixed on the task at hand, rebuilding. This was not a grand, sweeping reconstruction, not yet. This was the slow, painstaking work of embers glowing in the ashes, the stubborn refusal to let the darkness win. Among them was Jaron, his face etched with the maps of hardship, but his gaze steady and forward-looking. He moved with the pragmatic efficiency of a man who had learned to measure every movement, every resource. Beside him, Link, younger and wirier, buzzed with an almost frantic energy. His fingers, nimble and grease-stained, danced across scavenged components, sparks occasionally flashing from his makeshift tools. Zev, older, his brow furrowed in thought, carefully sifted through debris, his touch gentle, almost reverent, as if searching for whispers of the past. And Till, quiet and observant, moved with a botanist's patience, his hands coaxing life from the ravaged earth, his eyes scanning for any sign of green amidst the gray. They were an unlikely quartet, forged in the crucible of war. Jaron, once an architect, now a leader by necessity, his calm demeanor a bulwark against despair. Link, a pre-war tech enthusiast whose boundless creativity had become essential for their survival, turning scrap into tools, hope into tangible reality. Zev, a historian who had lost everything but his memories, now the keeper of their past, reminding them of what they were fighting to reclaim. And Till, a medic and botanist, his quiet strength rooted in his deep understanding of life, nurturing both their bodies and the wounded earth. They had found each other in the chaotic aftermath, drawn together by a shared instinct to survive, to rebuild, not just structures, but a future. The days were a relentless cycle of scavenging and repair. Food was scarce, rationed portions of salvaged protein paste and foraged roots barely staving off hunger. Water, painstakingly purified from polluted sources, was liquid gold. Materials were treasures, each salvaged piece of metal, each intact brick, a victory against the pervasive decay. One day, their focus was a derelict transport vehicle, its hull breached, its engines silent. Link, fueled by lukewarm coffee and a boundless supply of optimism, was determined to coax it back to life. "Imagine!" he'd exclaimed, his eyes bright. "Mobility! We could scout further, gather more, connect with others maybe." Jaron, ever practical, tempered his enthusiasm. "Maybe, Link. Let's get it moving first." Hours blurred into a symphony of clanging metal and muttered instructions. Jaron oversaw the structural repairs, his experienced eye guiding Link's energetic hands. Zev, surprisingly strong despite his age, helped haul salvaged parts. Till, in between tending their small, struggling hydroponic garden, monitored their energy levels, brewing potent teas from foraged herbs to ward off exhaustion and illness. The weight of the past was a constant companion. One evening, as they huddled around a flickering lamp powered by Link's jury-rigged generator, Zev spoke, his voice low and resonant. "Do you remember the stories? The Unorian? They came promising unity, progress. They spoke of joining a galactic collective." He paused, the silence amplifying the crackle of the lamp. "We believed them. Some of us did. We were tired of our own divisions, our own conflicts. But their unity was assimilation, their progress our destruction." He looked at each of them, his eyes holding a deep sorrow. "We must remember this. We must rebuild. But we must rebuild ourselves, our humanity, not repeat the mistakes that made us vulnerable." His words hung in the air, a sobering reminder of the price of complacency, but also a powerful call to build something better from the ashes. The threat of the Unorian was not entirely extinguished. Scouts reported faint signals, distant movements on the horizon, The invaders might be regrouping, remnants scavenging, or perhaps worse, preparing for a return. The fear was a constant undercurrent, a cold dread that gnawed at the edges of their hope. But they refused to be paralyzed by it. They reinforced their makeshift shelter, set up early warning systems using Link's inventive sensors, and learned to live with a quiet vigilance. And the land itself was a challenge. Scorched and poisoned by Unorian weaponry, the Earth was reluctant to yield life. Till, with his deep knowledge of botany, experimented tirelessly. He coaxed seeds from pre-war storage, nurtured seedlings in nutrient-rich solutions, and patiently observed the stubborn resilience of life. He discovered pockets of uncontaminated soil, hidden valleys where the earth still breathed. His small hydroponic garden, initially a meager collection of leafy greens, slowly expanded, a vibrant patch of green against the monochrome landscape, a testament to his dedication and the enduring power of nature. One day, a spark of genuine joy ignited in their weary hearts. Link, after weeks of relentless work, finally coaxed the transport vehicle back to life. The engine sputtered, coughed, and then roared to life, filling the silence with a sound that was almost deafening, almost celebratory. They cheered, their voices hoarse with emotion, a raw, unfiltered expression of triumph. The vehicle, battered and scarred, was a symbol of mobility, of possibility, of the human spirit refusing to be confined. With the transport operational, Jaron outlined a new plan. "We need to reach out," he declared, his voice firm. "There must be others, scattered, isolated, but alive. We need to find them, to connect, to rebuild together." It wasn't just about survival anymore, it was about community, about the future of humanity. Link immediately began modifying the transport for long-range communication, repurposing Unorian tech they had salvaged. Zev started compiling maps, drawing on his historical knowledge and scavenged data to identify potential survivor locations. Till prepared supplies, focusing on medicinal herbs and seeds, the seeds of renewal, both literal and metaphorical. Their small community, bound by shared loss and a fierce determination, had become more than just survivors. They were architects of a new beginning. They were the embers glowing in the ashes, the seeds of hope planted in scorched earth. As the transport rumbled to life, ready for its first scouting mission, casting a beam of light into the twilight, they knew the road ahead would be long and arduous, but in the face of unimaginable devastation, they had found strength in each other, ingenuity in necessity, and the unwavering belief in the human spirit's capacity to endure, to rebuild, to rise from the ruins, and, slowly, painstakingly, relight the ember glow of civilization.